Let's talk about something that will change everything for you. It's not money, talent, or connections. It's something far more powerful, your mindset. That's right, the way you think shapes your world more than anything else. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to rise above challenges while others stay stuck, it all comes down to how they see life. Here's the truth. Life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. Every challenge, every failure, every setback, it's all part of the process. But here's the catch. Only a strong mindset can turn those obstacles into stepping stones. When you wake up every morning and choose to look at problems as opportunities, you set yourself apart from 99% of the crowd. Most people complain. They blame circumstances, other people, even themselves sometimes. But not you. Not if you decide today to shift your perspective. Think about this for a moment. Two people can face the exact same situation, yet their outcomes are completely different. Why? Because one sees difficulty as a dead end, while the other sees it as a detour leading to success. The difference isn't luck or skill, it's mindset. A winning mindset doesn't just happen by accident. You have to cultivate it. You have to feed it with positivity, with belief, and with action. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some folks always find a way to win, no matter what? It's because they understand that attitude is everything. Sure, skills matter, hard work matters, but without the right mindset, none of those things can take you very far. Imagine trying to drive a car with a flat tire. That's what it's like when you try to achieve big goals with a negative or limiting mindset. No amount of effort will get you where you want to go unless your mental game is strong. So, how do you build this kind of mindset? Start small. Begin each day by reminding yourself of what you're capable of. Speak life into your dreams. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher, who encourage you to believe in yourself. And most importantly, don't give up when things get tough. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure. So are successful lives. When you start seeing challenges as chances to grow, when you stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead create it, that's when magic happens. Life becomes less about surviving and more about thriving. Less about fear and more about faith in yourself, in your abilities, and in the future you're building. The greatest gift you'll ever give yourself is learning to control your thoughts. Don't let doubt creep in and steal your potential. Don't let fear whisper lies that keep you playing small. Instead, focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how tiny it may seem. Over time, those steps add up to massive transformation. Remember, your mindset is like a garden. If you plant seeds of negativity, frustration, and self-doubt, that's exactly what will grow. But if you nurture it with hope, determination, and resilience, you'll reap a harvest of success beyond your wildest dreams. You were born to do amazing things. Believe that, live that, and watch as your mindset becomes the key that unlocks doors you didn't even know existed. Let's dive deeper into this idea because it's so important. Think about the stories of people who've achieved incredible things against all odds. What do they have in common? Was it their bank account, their education, the circumstances they were born into? No, what sets them apart is their mindset. They refuse to let external factors dictate their internal reality. Instead, they chose to focus on what they could control: their thoughts, their actions, and their reactions. Here's a powerful truth: your mind is like a magnet. Whatever you think about most often, you attract into your life. If you're constantly dwelling on lack, scarcity, or failure, guess what? You'll keep seeing more of that. But if you shift your focus to abundance, opportunity, and growth, suddenly the world starts opening doors for you. This isn't magic, it's science. Your brain is wired to seek out evidence that supports your dominant thoughts. So why not train it to look for the good, the possible, and the extraordinary? Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I don't feel motivated? What if I'm just not naturally positive? Let me tell you something: you don't need to wait for motivation to strike. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. What you need is discipline. Discipline to show up every single day, even when you don't feel like. Discipline to replace negative self-talk with empowering affirmations. Discipline to take action, no matter how small, toward your goals. Because here's the thing: action breeds motivation. When you start moving forward, momentum builds, and before you know it, you're unstoppable. Think about athletes for a moment. Do you think Olympic champions wake up every morning feeling invincible? Of course not. They have bad days, injuries, doubts, just like everyone else. But what makes them different is their minds. They decide ahead of time that they won't let setbacks stop them. They push through pain, fatigue, and fear because they've conditioned their minds to stay focused on the end goal. And you can do the same thing in your own life. Whether you're working toward financial freedom, better health, stronger relationships, or personal fulfillment, the key is consistency fueled by the right mindset. Let's talk about habits for a second, because they play a huge role in shaping your minds. Your daily routines are like the foundation of a house. If the foundation is weak, the entire structure will crumble. On the other hand, if you build strong, positive habits, your mindset becomes unshakable. Start with one habit at a time. Maybe it's journaling first thing in the morning to set your intentions for the day. Or maybe it's practicing gratitude before bed to reflect on everything you're thankful for. These small practices compound over time, creating a mindset that's resilient, optimistic, and solution-focused. And here's another secret: your environment matters. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in you. Energy is contagious. If you're hanging around folks who are stuck in negativity, complaining about everything, and refusing to take responsibility for their lives, guess what? That energy will rub off on you. But if you spend time with people who are driven, supportive, and committed to growth, their positivity will lift you higher than you ever thought possible. Choose your circle wisely, because it has a direct impact on your minds. Speaking of taking responsibility, let's address something critical. A strong mindset means owning your life, every part of it. The wins, the losses, the mistakes, the lessons, they're all yours. Blaming others or making excuses might feel easier in the short term, but it robs you of your power. When you take full ownership of your situation, you reclaim control. You realize that while you can't always change what happens to you, you can change how you respond. And that realization alone is liberating. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to bounce back from adversity faster than others? It's not because they're immune to pain or disappointment. It's because they've developed mental toughness. Mental toughness isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up every time you do. It's about viewing failures as feedback and using that information to improve. It's about saying, "This didn't work, but I'm still moving forward." That kind of resilience doesn't come overnight. It's built through practice, patience, and persistence. Let's talk about perspective for a minute. How you interpret events shapes your experience of them. For example, imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. One person might react with anger, frustration, and stress. Another person might shrug it off, assuming the driver had an emergency or simply wasn't paying attention. Same event, two completely different reactions. Which one would you rather choose? Perspective gives you the power to decide how much weight you give to any situation. And when you master perspective, you gain peace of mind. Now, let me share something that might surprise you. Comfort isn't always your friend. In fact, too much comfort can be dangerous. Why? Because when you stay in your comfort zone for too long, you stop growing. You settle into routines that feel safe but don't challenge you to become better. Over time, that stagnation leads to frustration, regret, and missed opportunities. On the flip side, when you intentionally seek out challenges, even if they scare you, you create space for growth. You learn skills, gain confidence, and discover strengths you didn't know you had. Here's another angle to consider. Every successful person you admire has faced moments of intense discomfort. They've dealt with rejection, failure, criticism, and uncertainty. But instead of running away from those feelings, they leaned into them. They used discomfort as fuel to propel themselves forward. And guess what? You can do the same thing. The next time you feel resistance, whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown, remind yourself that growth lies on the other side of that fear. Take one small step, then another, and watch how quickly you start to transform. Let's talk about persistence for a moment because it ties directly into embracing discomfort. Success rarely happens overnight. It's built through consistent effort over time. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Each step may feel insignificant on its own, but together those steps lead you closer to the summit. Along the way, there will be obstacles, rocks in your path, steep inclines, maybe even bad weather. But giving up won't get you to the top. Only persistence will. And persistence requires a mindset that refuses to quit, no matter how hard things get. This brings us back to the importance of belief. Belief in yourself, belief in your vision, and belief in your ability to overcome any obstacle. Without belief, persistence falters. With belief, persistence becomes unstoppable. So how do you strengthen your belief? By focusing on progress, not perfection. Celebrate the small wins. Acknowledge how far you've come. Remind yourself of past challenges you've conquered and use those memories to fuel your determination. Belief grows stronger with evidence, so give yourself plenty of reasons to believe in your potential. Now let's address a common misconception. Some people think having a strong mindset means never experiencing doubt or fear. Nothing could be further from the truth. Even the most successful individuals deal with doubt and fear regularly. The difference is they don't let those emotions control them. Instead, they acknowledge their feelings, then choose to act anyway. They understand that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. So the next time you feel afraid, remember this. Fear is just a sign that you're stepping into uncharted territory. And uncharted territory is where greatness lives. Another key element of developing a winning mindset is learning to reframe failure. Too many people see failure as the end of the road, but nothing could be further from the truth. Failure is simply feedback. It's information that tells you what worked and what didn't. It's an opportunity to adjust your approach and try again. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine if he had given up after the first attempt or the 100th. We wouldn't have light bulbs today. Reframing failure as part of the process allows you to keep moving forward without losing momentum. Speaking of momentum, let's talk about the power of consistency. Consistency is the secret weapon of success. It's not about doing something perfectly, it's about doing something repeatedly. Small actions done consistently lead to big results. For example, reading just 10 pages of a book each day adds up to over 30 books in a year. Saving a small amount of money each month can turn into a substantial nest egg over time. Taking 5 minutes to write down your goals every morning keeps you focused and motivated. Consistency builds habits, and habits shape your mindset. But consistency doesn't happen by accident. It requires intentionality. You have to decide ahead of time what matters most to you and prioritize it daily. This means saying no to distractions and yes to activities that align with your goals. It also means being patient. Overnight success is a myth. Real success is built brick by brick, day by day. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up, but that's exactly when consistency proves its worth. Those are the days that separate the dreamers from the doers. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about gratitude. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for cultivating a positive mindset. When you focus on what you're thankful for, it shifts your perspective from lack to abundance. It reminds you of how much you already have, which creates a sense of contentment and peace. Studies show that practicing gratitude improves mental health, boosts happiness, and even strengthens relationships. All it takes is a few minutes each day to reflect on the blessings in your life. Whether it's your health, your family, your friends, or simply the roof over your head, find something to appreciate and watch how your mindset transforms. Gratitude also helps you navigate tough times. Life isn't always easy, and there will be moments when everything seems to go wrong. During those times, it's easy to fall into negativity and despair. But gratitude acts as an anchor, keeping you grounded in hope and optimism. Even in the darkest storms, there's always a glimmer of light if you look for it. Maybe it's the kindness of a stranger, the support of a loved one, or the lesson hidden within the struggle. Gratitude teaches you to find the silver linings no matter how small they may seem. Now let's discuss the role of self-talk in shaping your mindset. Your inner dialogue has a profound impact on how you perceive yourself and the world around you. If you constantly criticize yourself, call yourself names, or dwell on your shortcomings, you'll reinforce a negative mindset. On the other hand, if you speak kindly to yourself, affirm your strengths, and celebrate your progress, you'll cultivate a positive, empowering mindset. The words you say to yourself matter more than anything anyone else says to you. So choose them wisely. Positive self-talk doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging challenges while maintaining faith in your ability to overcome them. For example, instead of saying, "I'll never be able to do this," try reframing it as, "This is hard, but I'm learning and improving every day." Simple shifts in language can make a world of difference in how you feel, and start paying attention to your inner voice and commit to making it your biggest cheerleader. Another important aspect of mindset is visualization. Visualization is the practice of mentally rehearsing your goals as if they've already been achieved. Athletes use it to enhance performance. Entrepreneurs use it to build confidence. Artists use it to spark creativity. When you visualize success, You program your subconscious mind to work toward it. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw obstacles. And when challenges arise, you're better equipped to handle them because you've already imagined yourself overcoming them. To practice visualization, set aside a few minutes each day to close your eyes and picture your ideal future. See yourself achieving your goals, feeling proud and fulfilled. Engage all your senses. What does it look like? How does it feel? What sounds surround you? The more vividly you imagine it, the more real it becomes in your mind. Then take inspired action to bring that vision to life. Visualization alone won't get you there, but combined with effort, it's a game changer. Let's circle back to the idea of resilience for a moment. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward. It's not something you're born with, it's something you develop through experience and mindset. Every time you face adversity and rise above it, you strengthen your resilience muscle. Over time, you realize that no matter what life throws at you, you have the strength to persevere. This realization gives you incredible freedom. You stop fearing failure because you know you can handle whatever comes your way. Building resilience starts with adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. People with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. They welcome feedback, embrace effort, and persist in the face of setbacks. On the other hand, a fixed mindset assumes that talent and intelligence are static traits. People with a fixed mindset tend to avoid challenges, give up easily, and feel threatened by the success of others. Clearly, a growth mindset sets you up for greater success and fulfillment. One practical way to cultivate a growth mindset is by reframing your language. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," say, "I'm still learning and I'm getting better every day." Instead of saying, "This is too hard," say, "This is challenging, but I'm up for it." These subtle changes in wording reinforce the belief that improvement is possible with effort and practice. They also remind you that struggle is a natural part of growth, not a sign of weakness. Let's touch on the importance of patience. Patience is often overlooked in today's fast-paced world, but it's a cornerstone of a strong mindset. Instant gratification feels good in the moment, but lasting success requires delayed rewards. Think about planting a tree. You don't dig a hole, drop in a seed, and expect shade the next day. It takes time for roots to grow, branches to sprout, and leaves to flourish. The same principle applies to your dreams and goals. Be willing to put in the work today, knowing that the payoff may come later. Patience also helps you stay calm during challenging times. When you understand that progress is rarely linear, you're less likely to get discouraged by temporary setbacks. You trust the process and remain committed to your vision. This unwavering focus allows you to stay steady when others might give up. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. Not just in fairy tales, but in real life too. Now let's talk about the power of curiosity. Curiosity fuels growth by encouraging exploration, learning, and innovation. When you approach life with a curious mindset, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. You ask questions, seek answers, and remain open to new ideas. Curiosity keeps you humble because it reminds you that there's always more to learn. It also makes life infinitely more interesting because you're constantly discovering new perspectives and insights. Curiosity pairs beautifully with a growth mindset because both thrive on continuous improvement. Together, they create a cycle of learning and expansion. The more curious you are, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the more confident and capable you become. So nurture your curiosity. Read books, listen to podcasts, take courses, and engage in conversations with people who think differently than you. The knowledge you gain will enrich your mind and elevate your mindset. Finally, let's talk about purpose. Purpose is the driving force behind a strong mindset. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, it gives you clarity, motivation, and direction. Purpose fuels passion, and passion fuels perseverance. It's easier to embrace discomfort, persist through challenges, and stay patient when you're working towards something meaningful. Purpose reminds you that the journey is worth it, even when the destination feels far away. Finding your purpose isn't always easy, and that's okay. It's a process of self-discovery that evolves over time. Start by asking yourself questions like, what excites me? What problems do I want to solve? How can I make a difference? Reflect on your values, interests, and strengths. Pay attention to the activities that energize you and the causes you care deeply about. As you piece these clues together, your purpose will begin to emerge. Once you find it, let it guide your decisions, actions, and minds. Your mindset truly is your greatest asset. It shapes how you view the world, how you respond to challenges, and how you pursue your dreams. It determines whether you see obstacles as barriers or opportunities, failures as endings or beginnings, and setbacks as defeats or lessons. A strong mindset empowers you to take control of your life, create your own reality, and achieve extraordinary things. And the best part, it's entirely within your power to develop. Your mindset is the cornerstone of everything you achieve in life. It's the lens through which you view challenges, opportunities, and your own potential. By cultivating a strong, positive mindset, you unlock doors that once seemed impossible to open. Remember, growth happens outside your comfort zone, persistence beats perfection, and gratitude fuels resilience. So take control of your thoughts, embrace discomfort, and keep moving forward with purpose. Your future self will thank you for the effort you put in today. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and watch as your mindset transforms your world.